Picture yourself in 1926. Olvera Street in Los Angeles is decrepit. It's a place that is lots of like machine shops. And there was an Italian restaurant, and probably bordellos and other seedy things. It wasn't where you'd go to the opera, that's for sure at that time. It was rundown, and the Avila Adobe is the oldest surviving building in Los Angeles, and it was falling apart basically. And so the city of LA thought that, well, you know, this area's falling apart. Let's put a train station there. Well, picture the church that's there now. Across the street, Olvera Street, was just going to be totally raised, and that's where Union Station was going to go. Well, a woman, a San Franciscan, named Christine Sterling, she was in Los Angeles. She noticed the adobe, the historical significance of the adobe. She saw a condemnation notice on the building. She realized, you can't do this, you can't tear it down. So this woman, in 1926, made it her dream and passion to save this building and save Olvera Street. So she got hooked up with Chandler of the LA Times, the Chandler family. And she was able to figure out, between 1926 and 1930, how to make, how to save, basically, Olvera Street and the adobe. So she went through Chandler, and she ended up working with the city council. Then she ended up basically figuring out how to turn this decrepit little area into a tourist destination. Yeah. So take something that's historic and blend history with capitalism, is I think what she and Chandler said, and create this kind of divine mixture of those two things to save it. So she sold the idea to the city of LA. And just imagine a woman going in to the city council and negotiating with them and taking an enormous project with the railroads, which were very powerful at the time, and undoing it. They had already, you can see newspapers right now and in the archives of the LA Times showing the plans for this new train station. She was able to reverse this enormous plan. She took it upon herself to make this a success.
That's a great kind of like broad sweep story. So what's the opera story?
Picture all of this culminating Easter morning, 1930 is the day they opened Olvera Street.
Oh my goodness.
When it was restored.
They blessed the animals that time too?
The day before is the blessing of the animals.
Like we're going to have,
animals
coming through.
I like that. I like it. That's
and then the thing starts in church also. That's
right. So the idea so far is you open it in a church, and you close it in a church. You have a very solemn 16th century style Ave Maria at the beginning, and at the end you take themes from other parts of the opera and put it into that Ave Maria at the end. Anyway, so you've got this great booking and a very grandiose final scene. You know, open it with a very dark church, you know, as it would have been pre-Vatican II in the 20s, and end it as a grand mass, you know. So what is the story of the opera? You can't base it just on history. Nobody really would sit for that. So we need a love story. So imagine the period. This is right after World War I, you know, 8 years after the war had ended. The community is Hispanic and Italian.
And so some of the different players in the city that everyone knows. There's the government, there's the railroad behind Union Station, there's the city council, there's the Chandler family and LA Times. So all of these people that were really instrumental in this great story that takes place 80 years ago, you know, everybody still knows those players today. The railroad and Union Station are still an important part. You know, the city council is still important. The Chandlers and their legacy with the LA Times is still, you know, very much in the minds of Angelinos.